Hello and welcome to OnlineEnglishLanguageLessons.com. My name is Chris and today we're starting a grammar review course where we're going to be talking about the present perfect in 5 minutes. This lesson is designed for intermediate learners who have previous experience with the present perfect and need a refresher without all of the explanation. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by talking about the form of the present perfect, then we're going to go through some uses, and finally I'm going to compare the present perfect to the past simple. So first I want to discuss the form of the present perfect. It has the subject plus have or has plus the past participle. So I, which is the subject, have been, which is the past participle of be, to Europe. So that's the form that we're going to use every time we use the present perfect. The key to understanding the present perfect is that it has a connection to the past. So every time we're talking about something that's happened in the past, if it has a connection to the present, we're going to use the present perfect. When it's something that is not connected to the present, we're going to use the past simple. So we're going to explore that in a few ways. First, we're going to talk about an action in the past that has an effect on the present. So here's our example. I've finished my lunch, past action, and I'm ready to work. So I'm talking about finishing my lunch in a way that says I am now ready to work. Because of that connection to the past, I'm using the present perfect. Another way that we use it is we talk about a past action where the time period actually includes the present. I've eaten 5 meals today. So today is our time frame. So even though I've eaten the meals in the past, because I've eaten them in the time period that is today, and it is still today, I use the present perfect. I can also use the present perfect to talk about an action that started in the past and is still continuing now. So that's one place where the connection to the present is more obvious. I've worked here for 3 years. So 3 years ago I started working here, but because I'm still working here now, there's this connection to the past. I've worked here for 3 years. I want to clarify that we're going to use the past simple when we're talking about something that's in the past and it does not include the present. I worked at my last job for 3 years. Because here we're talking about my last job, we're not talking about the job that I'm doing now. It's the past simple instead of the present perfect. So 2 words that we use a lot with the present perfect are for and since, and I want to highlight these because these are 2 words that English learners very often will make mistakes with because it's easy to get them confused. So I want to clarify that we use for when we're talking about a period of time. I've worked here for 3 years. We use since when we're talking about a specific date. I've worked here since 2011. In both of these, we're using the present perfect, and again, it's easy to get them confused. Finally, before we show our chart comparing the 2 tenses, I want to talk for a moment about the word ever. And ever is something that we use when we want to ask if someone has done something at any point in their life. Have you ever eaten 5 times in one day? Yes, I have. And so because we're having this conversation now and it has this connection to the past, have you ever done this? We're using the present perfect to show that connection. So now I want us to take a look at a chart comparing the 2 tenses. And it might be helpful to set your screen to full screen so you can see this more clearly. Okay, so just as we were saying, the past simple is used to talk about actions that took place in a time period that's finished. There's no connection to now. He worked there for 2 years, from 2002 to 2004. The action begins in 2002, it ends in 2004, it's over. He doesn't work there anymore. However, when we want to talk about how it's connected to the present perfect is used to talk about actions that start in the past and still continue now. I've worked here since 2010. We can see the connection to the present very clearly. The action begins and it's still continuing now. For the past simple, we use it to talk about finished actions and the speaker says or knows when it happened. I had fish for dinner yesterday. Well, we're referring very clearly to yesterday, a specific point in time that's now finished. It's not connected. However, we can use the present perfect when we want to talk about finished actions and the speaker doesn't know or doesn't say when it happened. For example, I haven't had fish in a long time. There's no specific time reference there. And when there's no specific time reference, when is that long time? I don't know. We're going to use the present perfect. We don't know when I had fish. Finally, down here at the bottom of our chart, the past simple uses words that indicate a specific time. Last year, a week ago, yesterday, in 1986, last month, etc. Whereas the present perfect uses words that do not indicate a specific time. Ages ago, yet, already, for, since, never, recently, etc. So all of these present perfect words, we're not going to talk about a specific instance in the past. And before we finish, I do need to point out one exception since we are talking about English. We use the present perfect to talk about actions that were completed very recently with just. So we can use the present perfect to talk about a finished action when we say something like, he's just finished the race. As in, yes, it's an action that's in the past. It's completed, but it's connected to now because it happened so close to now. He's just finished the race. That's our last example. So that's the end of the presentation. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this has been a valuable refresher on the present perfect. Please visit www.onlineenglishlanguagelessons.com and you can schedule a trial lesson in this classroom. You can see me, you can hear me just like you can now, and we can take notes in our notes pod that gets sent to you after the class is over, and we can go over things on the screen here at the same time. So again, thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe so that you can get the latest language videos. Thank you very much.